biggest fights that can be made, but I assure everyone here, this is the biggest and best fight he can be in. Probably ever.
Radio.
Probably ever.
You have the benefit of the close fights, so many close fights, and some of them have gone against you, some of them you've won. How can you use that to your advantage to make sure that if it is a close fight, you win it?
It becomes an advantage when you don't get the nod in some of those fights. When you lose it, I think it forces you to look at every dimension and everything that you did or did not do that may have cost you to lose that fight. So even though fights were close for me and I lost those fights, I think if they're close and I win, I may not look at them the same. So definitely a lot of advantages coming from the adversities I've had in terms of having not won some of those close fights that I lost. I think that you see where you lost at, and small tweaks, small adjustments here and there, and you're looking at a win. That's what I expect to do against Terence Crawford.
It seems like it's the importance of every second, the amount of activity that you're going to bring forth.
Yep. My fights are not 3-minute fights. They're you break that down to 60. That's 180 seconds. My every second of every round means something for me because I'm always moving and I'm always trying to create something in the ring. And I think that you're not used to that type of tempo, that type of pace. In terms of trying to prepare for it, you may miss something in preparation. So I think that's always going to be an advantage for me. My pace, my tempo, the understanding that I fight 180 seconds of every round, not in spurts of a 3-minute round. That's a big adjustment that he's going to have to make. It's not up to me to tell him that. It's not up to me, my dad, to tell Bomac that. It's up to him to understand that.
Shawn, which win of Terence's throughout his career impressed you the most?
Funny you asked that. The fight he had with Jose Benavidez, I believe that was his first fight at 147 pounds. Even at that point, it might have second or so fight at 147, but even at that point, I wasn't sure if I wanted to fight him because of like our friendship, and we had made a decision, X amount of years ago. Hey, don't let your promoter, my promoter. If we fight, we'll fight because we want to. Sitting there by myself watching the fight with Jose Benavidez, and when I saw him in that 12th round do what he did to Jose, I sat back just like this. I said, man, I might have to fight this dude. It doesn't get any better than that. And he's just been dominant ever since that fight. So way back when he fought Jose Benavidez, that's when I was really started to turn my wheels of getting in the ring.
You think that was his toughest fight, Benavidez?
I guess. I think maybe the most challenging. We saw some challenges there against the Mean Machine. I felt like TGV took a shot at the Mean Machine right there, but there was some adversity there for Terence in that fight, and I think some things to take a look at for ourselves in terms of how to reach that kid and touch that kid and what we can put him on his butt with.
Did you think he got knocked down in that fight against Crawford? Did you think that was a knockdown against Crawford?
It was a knockdown. Don't even ask me. Everybody knew that the Mean Machine knocked down Terence Crawford.
Shawn, you guys faced off, and then you started smiling. What did he tell you? What did you tell him?
I don't know what was going on with that, man. I don't know. I don't know whether or not I should read into it. Maybe I'll revisit it later. But he says, I'm laughing because you said see you later, bud. And I said, well, hey, this is later. Yeah. Nothing but pleasantries up here. But like he said, November 20th, ain't no thing for me to put that aside. And definitely gonna take respect for him in the ring. How could I not? But at the same time, looking at him like he's just another adversary for me.
What's the story with your dad and him almost getting in a fight?
Go ahead, Dad. Tell me.
Just the shortest version I can give you. Terence was a hothead outside of the ring. So he used to get in trouble with other fighters. I mean, he would, if you bumped into Terence, you didn't say, excuse me, you were just joking around with Terence, he'd come after you. And we'd have to break Terence up from situations like that. So he spoke about being in Venezuela.
A little bit more than that, though. It wasn't just bumping, a little bit more than that. Okay, well, but he was.
This is the PG version.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, he carries that into the ring. And A lot of times he had it outside. So we're in Venezuela. We look up in the stands, and there's a fight going on. The problem I have with it as a coach is it's an American fighting an American. And it's Terence, you know. So we had those situations with him where we'd have to reprimand and say, hey man, you know, stop doing this or that. And he would come right back at you. And it was one of those times at a national tournament I had to say some things to him, you know, not anything disrespectful, just to stop him from doing whatever he was doing. And he was ready to fight me. Of course, nothing happened at that point. Later that night, the tournament was at a college. So walking through the dorm area, it was very dark. It wasn't lit at all. It was very dark. It was almost like an alley. And I just happened to see him, and he saw me, and we came right face to face. And I'm looking at this guy with both his fists balled up like this, standing in front of me. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you ain't gonna move? You know. And I looked at him, I said, what's up? And he says to me, what's up? And then I thought to myself, I was like, nah, let this go, kid. Just let this go, you know. And we both turned. We didn't just walk away from him. We both turned and watched each other, and then we walked away, you know. And that's why he's laughing. But for me, that showed me who he is in and out of that ring. So again, you know, when the question was, do you prepare differently? Yeah, you definitely have to do other things that you've never done before. You know what I mean? And his mentality, real quick, but his mentality of fighting every second of every round is what we have to do. We have to, you know, we have to do that to be successful.
Hey, Shawn, how you doing? Robert Cook with GLT of the Red Corner Box.
Good to see you,
Everybody's trying to make this the career-defining fight for Terence Crawford. How are you taking this for you, for Shawn Porter? Because you've been in the biggest and you're one of the most exciting fighters in the game. How are you really taking this just like genuine?
Yeah, you know what? I'm taking it genuine.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
I'm from South.
No, you good. No, you good. I was like, I didn't really realize I was saying I'm being genuine, but that's who I am as a person.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, my dad's talking about, we know that we're gonna get a mean Terence Crawford in the ring. We know that we're gonna touch gloves at the beginning of it, before this fight starts, and then there's nothing in between then. That's just who he is, and we're prepared for that. For me, this is the fun side of it. You know what I mean? This is the side that you're supposed to enjoy. You're supposed to speak from your heart, say how you feel, so on and so forth. So it's easy for me, man. This is a career-defining fight for him and myself. We're both we are in our primes right now. This is a rare treat for the boxing world. You know, where neither of us have been hurt in the boxing ring. Like, you got two guys that are practically 100% getting in the ring against one another, and that's rare.
Right.
You know, so this is a big deal for both of us. I don't care if people shed more light on his side of it than they do on my side. I don't care. At fight night, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna win this fight.
Shawn,
Who is more dangerous?
Shawn, do you feel like Terence's counterpunching is the biggest challenge in overcoming his style?
You know what? I think that I think the number one side of my game plan is to take control, and to make him react to what I need him to react to. Take away that kind of punching ability that he has. He's a very good counter puncher. I don't know if people realize that about him, but he is. He's a really good counter puncher. But for me, it's to my number one game plan is to make him react and not allow him to take control of this fight.
Hey, who is more dangerous, Errol Spence or Terence Crawford?
I believe that Terence Crawford is more dangerous. Remains to be seen, but both guys, I think and felt at that point in time before I fought Errol that they were the best out there. Still feel that way. I feel that he's the next best. So I've taken on Errol, and now it's time for Terence.
Shawn, please. There is a lot of respect, but you could define yourself like the most dangerous fighter for Crawford.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm the most dangerous fighter for Crawford. I think one thing that people, you probably, I'm sure you've heard this, but don't really understand it. When we go into the ring, a part of us is always left in the ring. It's something you always hear. It's not always the case. It always depends on who you're fighting and how that fight goes. Anyone that gets in the ring with me does not leave that ring the same way that they entered the ring. Terence Crawford is not going to be the same after he leaves the ring for fighting me.
What do you think of Caleb Plant Canelo? You've been in the ring with Caleb. I'm sure you sparred him. What do you think?
Should be a really great fight. I think that Caleb's going to win the first half, and I think that Canelo's going to have to make some adjustments, and then we'll see what happens. I do expect Caleb Plant to win the first half of that fight, and then the second, he's got to hold on. That second half is going to be no joke for him. Couple more, two more.
Does the incident at the press conference between them two and the cut and all that stuff?
I don't want to talk Caleb Plant and Canelo. Just two more about myself and Terence Crawford.
Yes, sir. Yesterday I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Tommy Hearns. And you had said this fight was an opportunity to be on your Hearns-Hagler bone. Are you promising us the fireworks that Hearns and Hagler was back in the 80s?
I am. I'm promising y'all those fireworks. He not gonna back up.
Right.
And so it's gonna be a great fight. I think that in this fight we get a lot of people they retreat when they get in the ring against Showtime Shawn Porter. We're expecting him to retreat, but be right there at the same time. You know, so you're gonna get some fireworks. You're definitely gonna get fireworks.
What do you feel you guys got to do to get over the hump, to get the win in this fight?
For me, I think that it's. I'm probably gonna answer for both of us. I think my dad is like, hey, follow the game plan, do this, everything that I tell you to do. We're gonna prepare you, make sure you're prepared. And he and I, the entire team, feel like as long as I'm prepared, there's nobody in this world that can defeat me. So you say, hey, you got 3 losses. Those are small, minor adjustments that need to be made. We've got great film to look at. We've made some adjustments. We're gonna get better. And come out, you'll see a bit better Shawn Porter than you saw against Errol Spence Jr.
Last question, guys. Last question. When you this fight, you're going to be able to outwork.
You know, I don't think it's just activity. It's got to be the right activity. You know, I'm talking about fighting 180 seconds of every round, but it's got to be the right 180 seconds. You know, I can't just be active. I can't just be out there throwing punches. Got to be doing the right things at the right time. Got to be smart. God bless you guys. We'll see you soon.
Let's go, Terrence.